Hi everybody, are you ready to eat deliciously? I know I am. Today we have a very special guest.
Hi everyone.
Ta-da! This is my partner, Michael, and he will be joining me today, and I've prepared Efo Riro with Fufu, so I hope you enjoy. I think I've mentioned it before, but Michael is a doctor. He's an F1 at the moment, and so we thought it would be fun to do like a Q&A session because, a doctor, banker, and just see, if you enjoy our chit chat. So do you want to get up the questions?
Yeah, so we've prepared a few questions for you guys that we're going to take turns in answering and hopefully find some use in them.
We've got 30 seconds to answer each question because I ramble a lot. So we've got
She does. Okay, question number 1.
You started it already.
So Amber, describe your daily routine.
Okay. My daily routine is I wake up about 8 o'clock, 8:30 on the team that I'm on right now. I will work up until maybe 1 o'clock. That will consist of meetings, phone calls, spreadsheets, documents. It's a food good. Whatever, take lunch. I normally take about 40 minutes, then work until about 6:30. Then I come home. Michael, what is your daily routine like?
It really depends on what placement I'm on. For example, when I was on surgery, I'd wake up around 5:30 to get to work for 7:30. Now I'm on medicine, which is any non-surgical specialty. I get in around 9, wake up around 7:30, and finish between 5 and 9, depending if I'm having a long day or not. Every 2 weeks or so, I have a long set of days.
On calls, they're
on
called.
calls, we call them.
That's your time.
Okay. So, for the banker, what's your life like outside of work? And how do you make time for your hobbies?
How do I do it? As a banker, well, I'll cut that out, I said your name. So doctor, as a banker, I normally find time after work to do my hobbies. I think mornings for me, I'm not a morning person. I know that a lot of people I work with, they tend to like go to the gym in the mornings or things like that. I used to go to the gym, I don't anymore. But now when I want to go for like lunches, dinners, I either do it in London near my office or just on the weekends.
Okay. Oh.
How do you find time for your hobbies? As a busy F1. I feel like that's where the most like stigma comes from. There's not really stigma about bankers not having time. It's F1s really.
Yeah, so I really think it depends on what sort of week I'm having. If I finish at 5,
I eat up your time.
It's not too bad to just come home and do what you normally like to do. You just finish as any other professional does at any other job. The tricky bit is when you're on nights for a whole week straight and your whole sleep cycle's messed up, or you're coming home late and it's 10 o'clock and it's dark and you have to go to sleep again. Then it's a little bit trickier. But I think if you're committed and you have a good routine and you like your hobbies, you can always make time for anything. So, I don't think it detracts too much.
I would say though, one thing that you've experienced, by the way, we're so gonna get ripped for the way we eat fufu. We're supposed to be rolling it, like smacking it, but either way. Also, I keep chewing it. Is it good? I feel like one thing that Michael has experienced is it's really hard to do a regular hobby. So if you want to go to a club or like we wanted to take dance lessons, for example, his schedule changes every week and you can't really commit to something in full or plan that far in the future ahead because it really does limit you. Those kind of stigmas about being an F1 being unpredictable and hard to commit to stuff, I do think is true.
If you have anything that requires consistency and showing up to a club at a specific time on a specific day, it's not always the easiest. But if you kind of make your own routine and go by that and you stick to it as best you can, again, no issues.
Yeah, I feel like individual hobbies are easier as a doctor than like clubs.
Should we just dish the timer?
Yeah, the time is too much. Also, this is so good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So this is Efo Riro with lamb, and I cooked the lamb for I think 2.5 hours before I added it to the stew, so it is
So
melt in your mouth.
And the flavors. You can taste every herb, every spice. Really, really good stuff.
This was Michael's first time doing a mukbang, an ASMR video, making a vlog full stop.
I might quit and become a full-timer, who knows. I'm open to suggestions, any agents looking to sign up, new talent.
Open to hate comments.
Yeah, anything. Please. What's your biggest pet peeve about seeing a banker in a TV show or movie?
Oh, this is such a good one. This is such
Wolf
a good
of Wall
one.
Street, The Big Short.
I feel like both of us have things to say about this, because particularly, I don't know what it is, but anything to do with finance or anything to do with medicine, they get portrayed so horribly all the time. It's never ever accurate. I would say what's the biggest one? I think the biggest one is when there's a scene where, you know, the point of the scene is something else, but they'll intro it with acting like they were talking about work, and the stuff they say, it's like no one bothers to like sense check it first. We watched a movie recently where a guy, I think he's a trader or something, and he's talking about M&A and like some throwaway line, and it just, I was like, what did you just say? Like, no one cares about the actual economic lines of what they're saying. And for me, when it's inaccurate or they just say absolute bull, I hate that. Like when people have no idea what they're talking about. I feel like yours is going to be really similar.
I'd say something similar to this. If you watch any medical drama, they just say words that sound vaguely medical, and then they string a few things together, and then that's a groundbreaking, innovative thought that has saved millions from annihilation. No, it's not. They say, bring me some medicine, put a line in, give water through a vein. Oh my God, he opened his eyes. Oh my God.
You are specifically thinking about The Good Doctor with this one. So there's this scene, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's so good. But we like to hate watch stuff too. But basically, I think some boy gets glass in a lung, and someone's just saying, oh, I think it's actually sitting here, when we thought it was sitting over there. And Michael was watching it, and to me I was like, wow, that's so cool, she's so smart, because the doctor comes up with the idea, and Michael was, I hate this woman. Why did she say it like that? No one would ever say it like that.
It was basically, describing using the toilet. I go to the bathroom, I open the door, I use the handle, I lift up the toilet seat, then I sat down on the toilet seat, then I did my business and I flushed. They make it sound like
they go into every detail to sound smart.
Yeah, but they would just mention a common thing or common anatomical body part, and play off like it's something crazy. And no one actually speaks like that. Like no one says those things. There's a lot of abbreviations. It's actually quite colloquial.
Yeah. Oh, I thought of another thing. When bankers throw out really random numbers, I hate that so much. So if, people are saying, literally same film, the guy was like, do you know how big this merger is? It's like $100 million. we lend like 2-3 billion to like one entity at the bank. If the merger is 100 million, you don't need the top office. You need someone on like floor 10.
When your bank's worth a few billion.
Literally. But that's our biggest pet peeves. I feel like that's a good question.
Yeah.
Because I hate stuff
Basically,
like
everything's exaggerated and dramatized. And it's actually a lot more boring. A lot more
quite
slow.
normal. It's an office job what I do, and yours is...
And no one's, revolutionizing the field.
Yeah.
On a random Tuesday afternoon. Like they seem to do in Good Doctor. Every Tuesday afternoon.
But it's like every medical drama, they really make a meal out of everything. Alright, next question.
Alright. What's the worst and best thing about being a banker?
Oh, I didn't get time to think about this beforehand. Also, we need to remember to be ASMR. I feel like I was laughing really loudly. I feel like I can edit volume afterwards, I'm not sure. Also, I've seen people do this in mukbangs before. They go, when they've got fufu, they take a ball, roll it around, and they go, oh.
Cut out.
They do that. That is so hard.
Also,
Wait, you try it.
You're getting thrashed in this race.
I know. Wait, throw it up, then catch it. They'd like go that and grab it. Then you'd
What?
They take fufu and they roll it and they go, I did it. There you go. I'm a proper mukbanger. / I think that's just how it's
some of
supposed to
us
be.
eat our food.
It's true. Oh god, I've been talking the whole time. What was the next question? Oh, what's the best and worst thing? Okay. Best thing about my job is probably that there's a lot of variety and it's a big variation of activities. You get to see a whole host of different things, you know, whether you're doing like origination or coverage or ops, your brain is always engaged. Like you can't sit still during it, which is really good. Surprisingly, that's also the worst thing. You know, metaphorically, you can't sit still. Literally, you do sit still. You sit at a computer. Some days, you know, you're inundated with calls. You're talking to like 20 people in one day. You don't get a chance to do anything, or like live your life or blink or sleep or eat. But then another day, you might go like 12 hours without speaking to anybody. Because we live together, some days, Michael gets home and he's the only person I've spoken to all day. I've just been staring at like Excel in silence the whole time. And I guess that is kind of what I make of it. I could go for a walk, I could put music on, you know, but it can be really one note sometimes and quite draining. And you never see the practical results of helping anyone or doing anything meaningful. You just see numbers and you see documents and it's next thing.
But on the other side, it's nice to be at home and have the flexibility to do what you want with your day. No one's watching you, no one's pressurizing you, no colleagues on your back. Which I get a lot of, but at the same time, I guess I interact with more people. My job is all about seeing people and interacting with them. So I guess the grass is always greener.
But people, they can be very rude to him. I'm so shocked. You know, Michael said to me one time, he said at the end of a week, this whole week, no one said thank you to me. Not one person.
But thank you for the dinner.
Do you want me to go get you some more? Really?
No, it's fine.
There's more Fufu and there's more.
I'll have some later for sure. Don't you worry.
I just spat in private, darling. But yeah, you said some people can be very rude. And like, bring me this now, or like demanding.
Yeah, sometimes I get the notion that when patients come to hospital, they think it's a 5-star hotel, and they revert in some cases like 60, 70 years into literal neonates and infants.
Didn't someone throw a handbag at your consultant?
Yeah, the other day some lady in A&E
nice.
just chucked the handbag at my consultant, hit him in the shoulder. Then she threw another thing at him, and then he had to dodge it. I was just there looking up. Interesting.
You said he didn't mind though. Like, he seemed like he'd seen it a million times, I think.
He was kind of shocked. He didn't really know what to say. He was probably thinking about
How
the best
can you
place
do that?
to run to.
For someone who's just taking care of you, how can you throw a handbag?
Yeah. What's your next question for me, Amber?
When you first started, what were your biggest anxieties? Or let's say top 3. What were your top 3 anxieties about starting off as a doctor? And as you sit now, like a year into the job, how have you overcome them?
Sure. I guess the first one would be that you will obviously feel like you're unprepared. You go through all the knowledge and theory and practicals, and you see patients while you're at medical school, but you're never directly responsible for someone and directly called up if something happens wrong. That's wrong. And
You're not liable for anything, really.
You're not liable for anything. You're sort of observing, and when you're working as a doctor, it's a whole different ballgame, because not only you have to draw up information that you may or may not have remembered or studied, or maybe it's the one chapter that you forgot to go over, and someone actually needs you to be there and help them. You have a lot of anxieties like this. You don't feel competent. You don't feel prepared. Not experienced enough. Too slow. But as with anything, give it 2-3 weeks and you're more or less up to scratch. You learn on the job. You actually do know a lot more than you think you do. All of the things that you thought, you know, drifted out of your brain after final exams at university, they're still there for the most part. If they're not, you know, one quick Google or talking to a colleague or...
Would you recommend downloading PassMed? Like for F1?
I recommend PassMed for medical students preparing for their finals.
But not when you're working, no point.
When you're working, I mean, you can. There's, even after you become a doctor, there's other exams they have to do later on.
Which
for
I
me,
didn't know.
For me, it's in January, and you can revise whenever. I wouldn't recommend doing that when you're starting work, because you're focused on other things. But yeah, some point for sure. But yeah, it's just the feeling of I wouldn't call it incompetence, but just absolute lack of experience. And then 2 weeks of experience is enough to already start making you feel a bit more comfortable.
Would you say it's like a bad first 2 weeks though? Like overwhelmed?
It's a slow and an efficient 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks where you feel as if you're in year 7 again, or in Freshers Week at university. You know nothing, you know nobody. You don't know who to talk to, you don't know who to ask. You're second guessing yourself.
You're getting drunk.
Preferably not on shift, but possibility. But then yeah, like as with any other places or professions, you just, you know, you make your connections, you speak to your people. Everyone's happy to help out. Everyone knows that you're in that boat when you start. You're scared, you don't know as much. Everyone's really nice and really helpful.
Will you help me with this last bit? Can we eat from the same plate?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Best day ever.
I overshot. Look, that's your half, that's my half.
Oh man, this one?
Yeah, take that bit and I'll take this bit.
God.
It should be about equal.
Can we get
an amen?
Some likes if I literally eat this in one go?
Oh my god, that is worthy of a like, I think.
They probably can't see how much.
Subscribe. There's a fat bite, you can show them.
Big fat bite.
That's good. Do you have enough lamb?
If you guys haven't noticed, I really like her cooking. Some good stuff.
This is the first time they've seen you.
They can't tell from my... What do
You
you
can
reckon,
show
guys?
them, look, I'll hold the plate.
All in one?
I know he can do it.
Yeah?
And I think in your heart you know he can do it too. Nicely done. Be careful, don't choke. He's fine, guys. Right, what's the next question?
Oh, damn. Sorry.
Hot damn.
Mm.
Okay, oh, okay, this is an important one that I'm sure people want to know. How did you get into med school? What's your best tips?
Number one.
Shh.
Number one. Fully be convinced that you want to go into medicine. It's a big commitment. It's expensive. There's going to be lots of points where you wish you hadn't picked medicine. So be really, really sure that you want to go into medicine.
There will be many times.
It's, you know, it's a commitment.
I think the med school wobble is a really common experience.
It's very common.
And you'll be alright.
Especially in this current climate of, in the UK, in my case, working for the NHS, which is the National Health Service. It's very understaffed. It's not very well paid at the moment.
Oh, Fiji.
There's not a lot of appreciation, and everything is just about filling rotas and providing service as opposed to quality of training, quality of experience to work in the NHS. So it's not the best time to get into it, but you know,
Someone's watching this in their final year.
if you're truly passionate about it, then by all means. But just make sure that you're sure you're really passionate about it. Number two, you know, the boring stuff, academics, do well in exams, get work experience sorted out in advance.
Proactivity.
For me, when I applied, the universities that I applied to for medicine, you had to do examinations on top of your high school examinations, and based on those you would get ranked, and based on your rankings you would get interview offers. I'd say the most important thing is the interview itself, which again, that's where you talk about your work experience, your extracurricular things, why you think you'd be a good doctor, why you look forward to getting out of the course, why you're the right person for this. And to a big extent, this is a lot more important than your exams. People scribble exams, but the interview really sets you apart. So make sure you prepare for that.
Oh, and they will ask questions that aren't necessarily like academic. So they asked Michael, for example, to look at a picture, and they would close their eyes, maybe not literally, but they'd say, can you describe, as if I were blind, what the picture is of? And for me, I thought that's easy. So Michael and I tried it, and I was like, it's a house, and it's big.
Yeah, a picture of a city centre. Close your eyes, describe it to me as if I was there. So
it's a horrible question.
There's a lot of abstract questions.
Sounds
so
easy.
Be
Try
prepared
it
for anything. My biggest advice would be, don't get precipitated. Be resilient. Don't get scared. Bring a gun. Some fufu. Your hands.
Bring some fufu.
You'll be fine.
Exactly. Your mum and dad are here to tell you it'll be fine.
All right. Final question for you.
Wait, sorry. Is it hard to get into med school then? Do you think? It seems hard from the outside.
There's a lot of hoops to jump through. I don't think necessarily it's really hard if you're a little bit academically inclined and you speak well. There's no reason why you can't get into med school. It's just having the resilience to jump through all the hoops, and again, really, really being sure that you do want to go in for the long haul, because it is a bloody long haul.
Can I say where you went?
No.
Michael went to a really, really, really good med school. I didn't.
Alright, final question for you. Is the salary of a banker all it's cracked up to be? Told the crowd, we are dying to find out.
You know what I mean. Genuinely, in some situations, yes. I think for some teams, it's a pretty modest salary. It's never, it's always going to be higher than the UK average. It's always enough to get you by. But I would say in terms of the stigma of, rolling around in cash and everyone's, driving boats and stuff, there are jobs that are like that in the bank. There are. And
but it takes a while to get there.
It can take a while to get there, but there are some young people who are earning crazy money, like well over 6 figures at 27 kind of thing. And that's just from, they didn't do anything special. They just got on the right team and rose up through the bank. And it's definitely possible. And some of the people that I've spoken to and the whispers of, do you know what she actually earns? She's like an MD or whatever. It's crazy. It's actually crazy.
Better than us.
It's insane. It's too much. But so you get what you get out of it. If you work next to the money, they've got to give you a piece of the pie.
Skim a little bit off.
Skim off. That's fraud, and we don't do that. But honest, open, customer centric, and the money will come to you. This is Mum and Dad signing out. Thank you for joining our
Thank you for
Wait,
joining
should we
us.
shake hands with them?
Oh god. Off with your hands.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, my lash. Okay,
It's
we're
been
gonna
real.
go wash our hands.
Nah, I'm not gonna wash my hands.
Thank you for watching.
Peace out.